So today we are going to be talking about showing up even when you don't feel like it. And I feel like this is a video that is especially great for the channel, given that I'm talking about becoming her beyond measure. And as you know, I started the 90 days to become her challenge, which has since turned into 75 booked. I'm doing both essentially. And I'm at day 40 of the 90 days to become her challenge. And I think that it was really important for me to make this video because, like I said, I have had a lot of days where I didn't want to show up and I didn't want to do anything, but I reminded myself of the goals that I've been working on, and the things that I've been wanting to achieve. And so how do you show up when you really don't feel like it? Well, I think the first thing is that you stop making goals non-negotiable. And so that's not to say that that's not to say that I do everything every day. What I have really decided is that I have different goals for different versions of me, and each day I get to show up as that said version of me. There's the mom, there's the coach, there's the wellness enthusiast, there's the creative, there's the student, there's the teacher. There's all these different things. And so what I don't get to do is I don't get to do nothing. I don't get to just sit there and be passive about my life. I do get to alter what I feel like doing that day. And I guess I shouldn't even say what I feel like doing, but what aligns that day. And so, for example, today is Saturday, but yesterday was more of like a mom day, a health related day. I had me and my son's eye appointments, and my appointment took longer than expected. But what I came home and did was, okay, so let me backtrack. What I started the day doing was journaling, spending time, reflecting. And then after I finished my journaling, we went to my appointment. Then I got some reading done. I focused on, I also went grocery shopping. And so, again, grocery, journaling, doctor's appointments, grocery shopping. Then I came home and I was reading. And so that's one day. And for some, that might look like a failure because it's like, well, dang, I didn't show up as a coach. I didn't really listen to a podcast. I didn't walk my 10,000 steps, or I didn't do the things that I said I wanted to do. But that's okay because I did the things I needed to do. And I think sometimes when we're becoming, we're not making time for the things that we actually have to do to keep going. For example, like I have to feed my kid. I have to make sure we have doctor's appointments. I have to go to the grocery store. I have to, as a student, I have to make time to do homework and different things like that. And so, but if I had still had the same philosophy that I had at the beginning of the 90 day to become her challenge, yesterday would have been a failure because I didn't do the things that I needed to do. And so when I'm talking about showing up even when you don't feel like it, I think that it's okay. I couldn't do all 12 things. So how can I still make today a success? How can I still make today something that my future self will be proud of? Okay, well, I have the goal of reading 250 books, and I'm quite behind on that goal. I have only read about 75 books. So how about I spend some time tonight and work on reading my book? So what I did was I put my kid to bed early so that I could finish reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I got that book finished before 12 a.m. yesterday. And so that was really what that looks like after cooking dinner and making sandwiches for us. I did that. I think I also even recorded some content yesterday. I'm not really sure. if that was yesterday or the day before. But the point is, life is gonna happen, and you can allow that to life to keep happening to you, or you can try to fill out and develop some sort of balance for, like, yes, life happens to me, yes, there's things I need to do, but I can also still work on my goals in between that time. And so a better day is a better example is like, there's days when I'm completely writing the whole day. Well, not even just writing, but I'm being creative that day. I'm writing, I'm recording videos. Now that I've started my podcast and I have an upload schedule of Monday, Thursday, I'm going to be doing that. And like, while I'm so focused and hone in on that, I'm not going to be focused on, I'm not going to be focused on my steps as much. I'm not going to be focused on, reading as much, because I'm going to be outputting information. And I think the biggest thing is like making sure that the goals that you set in place are bigger than your mood. So every goal that I have set in place is is non-negotiable to me and my future. I say that I want to be my own boss and like not have to go back to 9 to 5 income stream, which means that I have to make sure that everything I'm doing on a daily is intentional and leading me towards that goal. So okay, creating content could eventually become an income stream. Writing a book could eventually become an income stream. Coaching is going to be an income stream. Whenever I'm journaling, for me, that's even a version of becoming her, because not only is it about like self-awareness and developing a relationship with myself and falling in love with myself and all those things, but like the goal is to one day have a journal brand. So by journaling myself, I'm literally creating and figuring out and processing what type of journal works best. I'm actually going to be launching a journal brand later at the end of this summer, going into fall. And so all of these things are really not, like, again, they might seem like unrelated or not important at the time, but it compounds upon each other, and they're all leading me to the woman that I want to be. She's someone who, again, is a business owner. And so how does reading fit into that? Reading fits into that because I'm someone who's educated, and I'm someone who created a life that created a life doing the things that I love, and I get paid to do the things that I love. So with creating content, again, I want myself to be known as a thought leader and someone who is educated, and an expert on wellness and the things that I'm talking about. I don't want to be someone who goes to ChatGPT for everything. So that requires knowledge. Reading books like this that strengthen my speech and allow me to be an educated person. Obviously, that's why I'm going back to school for a second master's, and that's why I got my certification, and that's why I'm doing all the things. I think that when we are just doing things because we think we should do them, such as doing 10,000 steps a day, and if you don't have a strong enough why attached to that, you're not going to be able to sustain them long term. That is the one thing that I have not been able to sustain long term, because I haven't developed a strong enough why to why I'm walking 10,000 steps a day. I can walk some steps a day. I will move my body every day, but I have not yet created a connection to why walking that specific amount of steps is related to my becoming journey and why it's so important, which is why I can't sustain that long enough. And when we're talking about showing up even when you don't feel like it, I'm able to dismiss 10,000 steps a day because I'm able to dismiss 10,000 steps a day on a day that I don't feel like it, or a day that I have my cycle, or a day where I'm too busy, because it's not a high enough priority for me. Now, if I had decided that if I don't walk 10,000 steps a day, that'll mean that I am unhealthy. When I had that frame of mind, I would walk 10,000 steps a day. However, I'm in a season where I'm not thinking that way, where I'm thinking that as long as I walk a certain amount of steps a day, or as long as I walk at all, then I'm fine. But I think that I do want to go back to a healthy medium where it's like I'm walking 10,000 steps a day because I care about my health and because I am wanting to be the healthiest version of myself. So, the difference between showing up when you feel like it and showing up consistently is creating systems that can withstand your mood, and creating systems that don't just rely on motivation, creating systems that rely on action no matter what. I don't like the word discipline. I know a lot of people within the self-development space use the word discipline all the time. It just doesn't align with me. I don't know, something about the word just sounds so icky, and so I don't use the word discipline. I use the word self-devotion, or I use the word alignment, because I think that when something aligns for you, you're gonna do it and continuously do it. Discipline is more related to an outcome. But if writing is aligned to me, which it is, even after finishing writing the first book, I'm still writing other books because writing aligns with my daily life and my identity. It's not just, oh, I'm gonna write one book and finish. Oh, I'm gonna reach one goal and then be done. Like for me, writing and reading and learning and all of those things are related to my identity, and they're aligned with my identity, so they're enough to keep me going at all times. I don't need to question, should I read today? Reading is aligned with, for me, with having and being an academic weapon. So I'm always going to read. I might not read as much as I would like to, but honestly, I can tell you every day I'm reading. Whether it's 30 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, 5 hours, like I'm reading every day because it aligns with who I am. It's part of my identity. Journaling. I might not journal every day, but I promise you there's rare times where I go a week without doing some sort of journaling. I have my Hobonichi, I have morning pages, I have different forms of journaling that I might be more geared towards at that time, but one way or another, I'm always journaling in some sort of way. That is an outlet for me. And so I'm gonna always do that. And I think so when it comes to showing up and achieving your goals, you have to allow yourself continuity. You have to allow yourself flexibility. You have to allow yourself the ability to say every day might not look the same, but either way I'm going to continue to show up. Again, reading. I can't read. I might not be able to read 45 minutes every day, but at least I'm going to read something. Reading 15 minutes a day is better than not reading at all. Writing 10 minutes a day is better than not writing at all. Doing 1,000 steps is better than doing no steps at all. I'm just allowing myself to have that grace, because either way I'm going to become her. Either way, that's what I'm leading towards. Either way, these habits are going to build upon each other and get me the result that I want, as long as I keep going, as long as I don't give up, as long as I stay aligned. I think that I have a lot of problems with this self-development world, but my major ones are related to making things so rigid and not allowing us to still be human. My biggest thing is creating a life that I love, and I realized that at the beginning of this challenge, I was creating a life that I hated. I was creating a life that I was miserable in. And so now I've found ways to still do things that get me where I want to go while still being enjoyable. And it's not the same thing as staying comfortable. I'm still very uncomfortable. Like, making time and space to read 45 minutes twice a day isn't easy. It requires a lot of work, especially when I'm reading a physical book, or especially when I'd rather just not do any of that. But I remind myself that this is something that's important to me, and that I'm gonna be grateful in the end. And also tracking things in my iPad, and I'm checking off the boxes and having trackers really helps me feel good, and it helps me keep going because I don't want to break that streak. So for example, since starting the 75 book challenge, I'm on day 9 or 10 now. I've had every day I've been able to check a pink box in my cute little digital calendar. I don't want to miss a day where I'd and not be able to check off that box and have to start over. That's gonna bother me because I've made it something that I enjoy. I've made it something that I look forward to doing. I've made it a part of my routine that is enjoyable for me, and feels good. When I was doing the 90 day to become her challenge, it was so much more of a chore in the way that I was doing it before. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to walk 5,000 more steps because I have to hit the 10K goal and I have to do these things. But now it's like, I get to do this. I get to read this book. I get to check off this thing. I get to, and it makes it so much easier to show up because I'm getting to do things that I love and I enjoy, but that also my future self can thank me for. So I know I was kind of all over in this video, but I think to sum it up, when we are becoming, and if we want to actually create a life that we love instead of just getting results, you have to change your mindset around it and make sure that you have a strong enough why that is aligned with the version of yourself that you're becoming. That's going to keep you going no matter what. That's basically what I had to say. I know it took 20 minutes to say that, but I just feel very passionate about this because it's a slump that I was experiencing. And I realized again the problem was lack of alignment, lack of passion for it. And when you are passionate about something, you don't need anyone to tell you to do something. You're just going to do it because you're passionate about it. I'm passionate about YouTube, so I don't need to tell myself to record a video. I just record when I want to because I enjoy it. So when I took away that barrier of needing to record every day, even if I didn't have anything to say and just putting out content for the sake of content, now I'm able to put out more intentional quality content because I'm allowing myself the space to think and breathe and not be a content machine. So that's all I have to say in this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Did you wait too long? Tell him that you love him, but